The problem with all the self-help, life advice, skill development content that gets made and pushed is that it feels good to listen to. You get that dopamine hit, like, wow, this content creator really just spoke to me. That's so true. I should try that. Consuming content that you're really resonating with also creates what's known as a time compression. You've probably experienced this. What's really a remarkable phenomenon, if you're into video games or movies, where you're so lasered into what you're watching or what's happening that time just, flies by. Now, not to get all tinfoil hat, and I mean that, there's some real research here. Attention nowadays is treated like a currency of sorts. Companies, influencers, they're trying to match the shrinking attention span and short form content consumption by delivering what they think is the maximum amount of value to you per second of attention. If you want the best example of this, it's doom scrolling.
Is anytime you're using willpower, there's an internal struggle that you are paying attention to. It's like, I don't want to order chicken, I want to order fried chicken. So there's a monitoring of the conflict that goes on. That's anytime you're exerting willpower, there's this thing this way and this thing this way, but you are aware of it. You can't exert willpower if you're behaving automatically, right? That's why it's so easy to get lost in doom scrolling, because you're not even aware of what you're doing before, and then 4 hours have gone by and you're like, what? What happened? You're not aware. So this is the crazy thing from a neuroscientific perspective, and this is what the yogis will teach as well. Awareness is willpower. Awareness is self-control. So the more that you are aware in the present moment, the more your problems will literally melt away.
Now, how did doom scrolling come about? Well, you take a company like ByteDance that understands two things really well: content consumption and time compression. If your business model is to build a social media app that engages users for large periods of attention time, all you really need to do is figure out, one, how do we put content that people want to watch on their feed? And two, how do we keep them scrolling? TikTok was kind of the cocoon for the short form video scrolling, and it's actually pretty wild how fast so many other companies jumped onto this app strategy. Seriously, it's easy to forget, and I can still remember to this day, but YouTube, Snapchat, Instagram, even Twitch, they added in that infinite scroll feature so quickly. And this is the reason I've always enjoyed making longer form content like on YouTube, because I want people to watch and take notes, actively listen, and get some key takeaways, for the week or something. You see this video right here? I haven't watched it myself, and no shade to whoever this is, but using it as an example just popped up on my feed. You wouldn't need to sit here and watch 67 minutes of productivity advice if you actually took notes and digested or distilled all of the other productivity content that you've consumed before. You've seen videos like this. You've heard this stuff before. Unless you've just discovered what productivity is, this is your first time on YouTube. You've never thought about looking into self-help or entrepreneur advice until just now. You know how to be more productive. You know how to live a more actionable life. Maybe you don't know, but you knew at some point while you were scrolling productivity videos for hours on end without actually distilling any of the information for yourself. That is exactly the problem. Your working memory isn't serving you because your brain's wired to enjoy the influx of useful advice that resonates with you, rather than wired to actually do those things. What I'm offering you is this perspective. Life advice and productivity hacks usually come from two places. The first is someone retelling their lived experience. Okay, for example, a guy that likes to fish. He's caught 10,000 fish, but he's also missed 20,000. So he wants to help you by retelling his story and unique experiences, giving you takeaways to possibly help your fishing endeavors. So that's the first example. The second place that life advice and productivity hacks usually come from is someone resharing or regurgitating a learned experience. For example, a day trading influencer uses ChatGPT to generate 10 day trading tips and posts them to his Instagram once a week. What the day trader is doing is he's generating a real learned experience from someone else, someone out there on the internet that has shared their lived experience and it's now being distilled and possibly diluted, meaning some things might be wrong or inaccurate. Now I'll ask you, which form of content is healthier to consume if your goal is to be productive and actionable? Now, the answer is neither. How you consume content is correlated to your health. How you consume content is directly correlated to how productive and actionable you are. See, many people like fishing, okay? And they think that the more fishing videos they watch, the better at fishing they'll be. They aren't at fault for this because the algorithms are designed to keep you watching. And because you get dopamine from continuing to watch and scroll, your brain is thinking that it's being productive even though it's not. Here's a framework I'll offer for you that will allow you to be more actionable and more productive, regardless of whatever skill it might be in or topic that you're interested in. Find a video, watch it, but when you hit play, you're going to be doing active listening. It might sound odd, but you're not going to have other things playing. Your second monitor is going to be off. You won't have Subway Surfers open during this. No distractions. You're just going to sit there and watch the video. If you get anxiety from the notion of this, it's because your dopamine receptors are cooked, dude. Active watching and then active writing is how you are supposed to consume content and be productive and actionable at the same time. You'll watch, take notes, write down key takeaways, things that you've learned. What is the person saying? What might they be wrong about? And then actually go do those things. Some videos you watch will capture your attention, but with active listening, you'll realize, hey, I don't think this guy knows what he's talking about, or this isn't for me. Great. Go look for something else. No problem. When you actively listen and write, what you'll find is that your working memory becomes more accessible, and you'll also realize how repetitive and distilled a lot of the self-help content out there really is. Once you see content from this perspective, you'll start to notice tricks that content creators do to get you to choose their content over someone else's. What they're after is your attention time as well as your click. So they'll include, striking statements and titles and thumbnails that give you the feeling that you're being talked to directly and that you've been doing something wrong this entire time without realizing it, right? Never justify. Now, the content in this video might be useful, sure, but I'm personally not going to watch it because I've learned over the years how to set prices for things. And the only way I know how to do that is by applying myself. I've learned about prices before. It's all in my working memory. Now, if I get to the point where the prices I'm setting for things no longer work, that might be an opportunity where I go and look for some pricing content, right? There's no reason for me to spend 10 minutes watching a guy tell me how pricing should be set and how I'm doing things wrong. Watch, write, and then apply. With this perspective, you can easily start getting your time back and feel more productive day to day, starting with the end of this video. Till next time, guys. See ya.